Hi, this is Dora. I wanted to come out and show you my latest journal that I just completed. It is a spring journal I've been working on for about a month and a half, and usually it doesn't take me that long, but with this particular one took me a little bit longer because of all the details and the hand sewing that I had to do, but I'm pretty satisfied with it in the end. So I just wanted to give you some description of what I did. I will play some music along the way, but I will also come on and explain it in some areas where I did a lot of hand stitching. So here we go. And here is a 3-inch spine, texture paste up here, medieval mirage, and another texture paste down here. I sealed this just to protect the image. The back part of the journal is flowered with all kinds of, again, textured with different kind of fabric designs, lace, button. And when I was doing the stitching, I wanted to give it some kind of detail to emphasize all the leaves. And the outline of this flower is, I think it's called cushioning. So I did that kind of stitching. I put yarn first, of course, and then I did the cushioning stitching. So this is a very squishy. I don't know if you can hear it, but it has three signatures, and each signature has not flower, fabric covered in the front. And I think it's because of that kind of filled this journal really fast. And the spine here is very flexible. Not too long ago, I did a tutorial on it, and this is the reason I do this type of a spine, because it's very flexible. It gives me the flexibility to turn the page and to fill it up as much as I can. And as you can see, all this beautiful lace that I added, all these eyelash trims, Trendsetter yarns, flag yarns, and so on. And this side too. And so for the front page here, I did layers of textures, and I started off with a firm quilt batting, and then I added fabric to it, and then I layered these twine. I think they are twine. I'm not sure what they're called, but I dyed it green first and then put them on. They're very soft too. And then I added these cheesecloth, green cheesecloth over it. And then I started building with all these artificial leaves and all kinds of good stuff on here on top. This ribbon here is from KnotOriginal, KnotOriginal. And she's got some beautiful, beautiful ribbons over there at Etsy. And this is what it looks like when they are not, when they're not sewn together here. So yeah, this is basically what I did. And again, I'm going to go ahead and play some music as I go along. But I want to be able to also talk about what I did. So the front page here this is a tablecloth here, and I really liked it because of this lace. So I went ahead and used that. And digital image printed on fabric with this little girl. And then over on this side is a lot of stitching. And I did like a round window here so that her face, little girl's face, could be peeking through, and a lot of round stitching, seed stitching, collaging with all kinds of fabric that I added on here. Excuse me. And then over here, this little piece of onion skin. There's a lot of videos out there about it, how you can fuse these together, just using onion skin, any type of transparency paper, and then you put your dry skin or dry flour on there, on your paper, and then put a very thin plastic wrapper. For me, that works the best. So I put that on there, and then of course I put a fabric over it so it doesn't stick to my iron. And then I ironed on a low heat, and then it fuses together just like this. I made a whole lot of these last summer, I think it is. And no, it was fall. Regular paper inside. And so, and this side is also stitched. A lot of hand stitching, a lot of texture. And I learned how to do flower stem here, the stitching part of it, and then applique and fancy ribbon again from flag yarn. And then I don't know if you can see this, but it has that glass flower in my stash. I used that, and then this little girl. This is from Graphic Fairy, and of course I put it on a tuck here. I put it on a coffee dye. And this is from digital print from Alyssa Barnes, her gel print. This gel. It's gel print is. Just want to be correct on that. She does beautiful work. And a red cardinal. Beautiful flower over here. And this is a. I got this from an antique shop. I think it is a card, indoor and outdoor type of plant card, vintage. It kind of tells you a whole lot of information on how to care for your plants. And vellum here, and then this is tracing paper that I tried to food color dye, and it just caught just a little bit of it. So, and here is a bookmark of a deer, and the back side of it is just beautiful, beautiful aspen trees. That's that, and then on this other side of the page is this little girl. She's so beautiful, and it really captured all the collaging I did around her. And it's actually a side pocket over here. I'll put this aside. And then here's another vintage card, flower card, or plant card. More information to the back. And this is digital. This is also digital, and she reminds me of the hiking that myself and my husband do around this time into the summer. Not a long hike, of course, not really. In the deep woods as well, just, wherever we're familiar with the path. But this is a very cool photo. I think it's from Ivory Coast Hats with Sassy Women. So that's that. And this little girl, I don't know if she's surprised, upset, or if she's happy. I'm not quite sure. I just backed it up with regular paper and flip over with this beautiful girl with purple flower, collaged it, and it's a 3D embossing. I backed it with embossed paper, and over this side is on the other side of the black and white tree page that I used. And then these flowers kind of reminded me of the flower she's holding there. And beautiful page here. And this shawl really reminds me of my shawl that I have. Shawl. She looks so relaxed. This one reminds me of a design, maybe Middle Eastern flower arrangement, perhaps. Dragonfly, big space to journal in the back. And this is decoupage on a piece of paper. This is a flip out. This is a stamp that's been laminated. Oh, and this side is a little envelope that you can put something in there, piece of paper. And this is a stamp of a mouse inside a rose petal. This is beautiful digital there. Pocket there. And embroidery lace. This is the other side of that tracing paper. And she is also from the digital Ivory Coast Hats with Sassy Women. Beautiful duck there, book page. And we get a lot of those year-round over here at the pond. Beautiful birds there. And here is a Big Tree Park, Santa Cruz County, California. I've never been there, but it looks beautiful. It's a postcard, 1951. 57? 51? I don't know. The handwriting's kind of... So, that is a postcard, and this here is I got this on vintage or antique shop as well, and it was a dress that was falling apart, so I rescued this, a part of it. And this is beautiful digital, and extra paper pages to journal in. And this is a handmade paper, stenciled and then stamped. I did the smaller stamp myself, and this is a again, this is from Alyssa Barnes' gel print. Her gel prints are so beautiful. And again, this is from Ivory Coast Hats with Sassy Women. My son said that this says the flower. He speaks fluent English or French, so I trust what he tells me. And so backed it up with this beautiful book page. And here is a pocket fabric, and the squirrel is one of the pattern that I use to stitch, and I really like the tail because it really gives that fluffy, real tail feeling. And this pattern, I got it from Vintage Studio or Vintage Blend Studio, and all of the pattern that I use that I stitch in here are from there. And then Ponderosa tree here, just beautiful tall. Again, I just layered all of this just the same as I did with the other ones. And then lace pocket. And this next page here is a very interesting project that I have done for the first time. And after I did all the layering of the page, I cut this part out as a window, and then I used twine and just sewed the twine in the fabric, and then I used floss, the embroidery floss, and sewed it and added this embroidery lace onto it as well, and added some flowers up here. And on the other side is the other side of this page. And the only thing that I was a challenge for me was after I finished all the sewing and everything, it just collapsed and it just wasn't staying up where I wanted it to be, like a page, right? So I added this stick into it just to give some stability, and I really like how it did this firmness to it, so I can turn the page without it being like all weird shape. And this fabric here, I got it from a local lady. She was selling her mom's, I don't know if she's still selling, but her mom used to do quilting work, and she had all these beautiful fabric. And I thought this was a perfect fabric to get for this journal. Again, there's a little mouse stamp here that's getting into the rose petal. Here is a postcard, and see what year it is. Oh, I cannot see the year. Yeah, I can't see the year at all. But it's a beautiful postcard. And here I added a lot of texture as well. Lace and ribbon leaf, flower, and this long eyelash again from Flag or Trendsetter. Trendsetter yarn. I want to say that correctly. Pocket up here, vellum. Another pocket over here, and clusters, book page, and just collage the whole thing. And there's a little pocket over here, also a stamp of a small mouse climbing outside the rose petal, or climbing out. And here's the bear page or book page of bears, and they are out also, and they are also enjoying, looking forward to spring and summer as well. And here are the little boys that look like they're happy, looking forward to summer break. And then decoupage and a decoupage over here. And another large pine tree. This is from my tree book that I found at antique shop. This is the other side. And this is kind of like a misty fog early in the morning in the forest. Decoupage there. And here's a possum. I bet he is looking forward to it too, to the summer season. This one reminds me of a botanical garden in Denver. It's been a long time since I've been there. And here's a little boy with his dog, and I'm sure he's looking forward to summer as well. Decoupage on each side, top and bottom. Just fancy yarn again. And here's another postcard. Be good and you will be happy, says Fred. It doesn't say what year. Maybe, I don't know, Indiana, something like that. I really like how the purple has complemented each other there. This one also reminds me of botanical garden in Denver. Oh, back. And this is part of the tablecloth that I got. And I really like the flower texture there. Book page. Big pocket. And then here's a frog pattern as well that came from Vintage Blend Studio. And this is a window frame opening on the fabric. And this comes out, and I just don't want to do it now because I don't want to mess it up. But you can replace it if you want to change the picture. Then a secret storage for your pencil. This is how the size of it that it can fit in this little storage here. Any bigger than that, I don't think it'll fit. Same thing here, same process that I use for layers and just layering fabrics. And postcard from London. And this blue rabbit pocket there, also from Vintage Blend Studio, and I added these beautiful yarn. I think it's Trendsetter as well. And this is from the book tree that I have. And this is a watercolor paper. This is the only one that I was able to get decent out of my printer, because the other ones, they just had this weird black mark all over. My printer didn't like it, so I stopped doing that. I think it was too thick, maybe. Beautiful bird. This was the inside page of a book that I have, and I thought, you know, I really like the flowers, so I thought it would look good in this journal, so I used it. And this middle page here, this little girl is walking towards, I thought it was a cat, but it's not a cat, so and she's walking in the field of sunflower, and embroidery lace there in a cluster. And this is another pattern that I got from Vintage Blend Studio, and mushrooms and a snail. This one came from a different fabric, and I just added to that. Beautiful sunflower. And this pond really reminds me of the trip that we took, my son and I, out to Japan a couple of years ago, and they have such beautiful, beautiful ponds. So yeah, it reminds me of that. And I layered it with lace, wool felt, and the paper, and then all kinds of other leaves. And a groundhog. I'm sure he's looking forward to summer as well. And a hedgehog, and I really like how I did the stitching here, and it had that sticky or sharpness feel to it. I did the face as well, and these patterns are also added from a different fabric. Here's just the raw stitching, and there is a pocket right here. And this texture here came from a curtain, and I dyed it and then put it in the dryer, and this is what it gave me. I really, really am happy with that. And then just collage a little bit of lace, different fabric, picture, and artificial leaves. I just like how it came together, and I sort of stitched here and there. This is a wool felt, and I got this from Antique Shop as well. I want to learn this process also. And our last page here, this little guy here, just beautiful. He's just cute. And just added some trim around it. And on this side is a raccoon. Also, these stitch here, really, I'm really satisfied with that. And then I just stitch with my machine by with the leaves and everything. And pocket, and there's a letter in here, and it's a 3-page letter written to dearest Patsy. And they're talking about flowers, gardening, magazines, and all kinds of stuff. So that was pretty fitting to put it in here. And plastic pockets there. So that brings us to the end. I hope you enjoyed this flip through. And again, if you have any questions, just leave it in my comments section. Thank you for coming and visiting my channel. I do appreciate that. And also, if you're interested in this journal, it is available. Please message me, and I'll put my email information down below as well. And please contact me. And this is beautiful, soft journal that I had put together. And my next project I'm working on is I like to do more of the boho type of stuff, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So again, thank you so much for coming along. Take care. Bye.